All right. Hello, everybody. Good morning. Meteorologist Ansley Parker here, and I'm back to talk a little more details on the forecast for really the upcoming Tuesday. You know, that is our chance to see some potential winter weather, but also kind of for Monday as we get ready to deal with this unseasonably cold air that we have settling in over the area. So I'm going to kind of go through everything that we're expecting for really just the next 2 days and give you the details of what we know right now from the National Weather Service and the products that they've issued for us. We'll go through some of the models as well and kind of give you an idea of what we're thinking. So let's go ahead and jump right in, and I will take these graphics back full screen. I'm still here, so don't be confused by that slate there. But I'm going to go ahead and jump into kind of the big picture of what we're talking about for the upcoming weather event for Tuesday. So to give you some headlines generally, we are really looking for the chance to see some winter weather on Tuesday. It's looking a lot more certain. The latest model runs have been a lot more consistent with having winter weather across central Georgia. Now, the precip type here is still somewhat uncertain, although I'm kind of sitting here looking at a few of the models thinking that mainly we're talking about snow, although there are some areas that could be seeing wintry mix as opposed to just snow. And then generally also, aside from just the chance to see some winter weather, cold temperatures are also going to be really important to pay attention to for the rest of today, for tomorrow especially, and then for the work week ahead of us. So we're also going to talk a lot about the temperatures as well, just because they're going to be the coldest temperatures not only that we've seen this season, but really that we've seen in quite some time as well. So also with precip type, the other uncertainty that we won't have an answer for today is the amounts. So the accumulation that we're talking about, that will be the last and final detail of our forecast. So right now we're saying, okay, prepare for some winter weather, but in terms of amounts, that will be the final detail that we need to work out. So let's go ahead and kind of talk about the forecast. Let's go through the elements that we're using to kind of make this decision. So first of all, a colder Arctic air mass has settled in over the eastern U.S., especially over central Georgia here. We're seeing the coldest air so far that we've seen this season. So in terms of actual temperatures, that means that the temperatures are dropping really below freezing in the overnight hours and then staying near freezing during the daytime. So today we're going to start to get a taste of that air as we head into the later afternoon and evening. But as we head into the overnight hours, the actual temperatures will start to drop into the low 20s. I think even the graph model here overshooting this a little bit. So we hit the low 20s, which is not super uncommon for us, but what is uncommon is that as we head into the afternoon, we don't warm up quite as much. So when we're talking about this, the reason that I'm mentioning this at all is because I'm bringing it to your attention to say if you have not dripped your faucets yet this season and you've been okay, or you've not protected your pipes, or taken cold weather precautions so far yet this season, tonight is the night that you need to do that. The National Weather Service has put us in a cold weather advisory for tomorrow morning specifically, and it's loading on the screen right here. There we go. For tomorrow morning, because of how low the wind chill is going to be, and you just saw on the future view temperatures there, we're going to dip down into the low 20s, maybe even upper teens for some spots, and then not warm up during the daytime. So your pipes won't have the chance to recover, things won't have the chance to warm up. So for tonight, just go ahead and put your cold weather safety plan in practice. Go ahead and drip your faucets, go ahead and bring your pets indoors, your plants, because this is really going to be the coldest air that we've seen so far. If you have to be out during the morning hours on Monday, the good thing is this is MLK Day, so I'm hoping that means you won't really have to be out at the bus stop with kids. But if you do have to go out early for work, or just generally you need to be outdoors in the morning time, the wind chill is going to be, and I'll actually show you on our feels like map here. So I just showed you actual temperatures. This is the feels like, so this factors in the wind chill. For Monday morning, the wind chill is going to be in the low teens, and this model run is actually running a little warmer than what I saw earlier. Earlier, I even saw values in our northern spots in the single digits. So really, 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 really cold for tomorrow morning. And then the cold just kind of continues with us. We're staying, in terms of high temperatures, we're going to stay near freezing during the daytime through most of the work week. So I know the big question is really the winter weather, but I just don't want that to get lost in everything just because that is a pretty big impact, and we haven't really quite seen temperatures like that in quite some time. So I will run through this secondary headlines thing just one more time. This cold weather is going to last through about Thursday morning. Again, afternoons still really, really cold, not quite getting too much above freezing, and then the wind chill is going to be really cold. So just go ahead and take precautions to deal with cold for tomorrow. And then we can start talking about some potential winter weather for Tuesday. So let's transition now into talking about our potential winter weather. And just one more time, in case I've had some people who are joining who didn't quite see the beginning of this, the chances for winter weather are definitely looking more certain. The uncertainty that still remains in this forecast, I would say precip type is coming into better focus. A lot of models are resolving mostly snow across central Georgia. That's what we're seeing right now. But the reason that I still kind of put a flag on it is just because there are some model runs that at least have a couple of counties dealing with a wintry mix as well. The big question mark that we will not be able to answer until really, really close to the actual event is potential amounts. So that will need to be something that you keep updated with. So let's go ahead and go through the graph model. Now that we're into this forecast a little bit, we do have some of our higher resolution models, which means the graph is one of those. So it's really a Tuesday into Wednesday morning event in terms of timing. So nothing on Monday, and really not a lot, at least on this model run. Again, specific timing, kind of in flux. So we're going to say Tuesday, but you may not notice much on Tuesday morning. It kind of looks like it takes its time maybe in the early afternoon to get here, but I wouldn't get too locked in on that. I would just pay attention to Tuesday in general. We start to see some of that moisture moving into our area here in central Georgia and takes its time. It will stick around throughout Tuesday, really into the overnight hours as well, and kind of taking its time going through central Georgia all the way into the early morning hours Wednesday. So what you just saw there in this specific model run in terms of precip type is all that blue, and as I'm sure you can guess, this blue color does mean snow. So the pink color that you kind of see creeping in the bottom of the map closer to Tuesday night, down there towards Savannah, that is wintry mix. So that's going to be more your freezing rain, your sleet. The blue color that you see here on the map, this is actually snow. So right now it looks like snow is possible across central Georgia. That's kind of what we're saying at the moment. Again, I will show you some of the other models just so you get an idea of what I mean by still paying attention to that precip type there. This is the European model. And you can see that early Tuesday afternoon, it still tries to show maybe some areas that are dealing with wintry mix as opposed to straight snowfall, even a couple areas of green, so maybe even a couple areas that see rain first. And then it does resolve still snowfall kind of in that overnight hours. The European model, or the GFS model, excuse me, this one, a similar story, where there may be some times where we might be looking at wintry mix and snow. So you can see that they're not quite as just that blue-white blanketed color. There is kind of a mix there of some of those pink colors in there. So that's just kind of why I say the precip type, and to use actually the phrasing that the National Weather Service used in their briefing for us today, the precip type is coming into medium confidence. So you saw snowfall on the models. It does look like we likely will see some snowfall, but it can't be ruled out that there could be some areas of wintry mix as opposed to just straight snowfall. So we'll call that medium confidence there. Even our NAM model here shows some of that wintry mix as well in the bottom, in our southeastern counties mainly. But the one thing that's really not so much a question anymore is if we're going to see any type of wintry weather at all. It's definitely becoming pretty certain. The models are in pretty good agreement that we're expecting to see something on Tuesday, maybe lingering into Wednesday morning. So this is the official guidance so far from the National Weather Service. This is a winter storm watch, and I don't want you to get too locked in on the terminology there. All a winter storm watch means is that the conditions that are necessary for winter weather are here. They're favorable during that 10 a.m. Tuesday to 7 a.m. Wednesday period. And we have the right temperatures and we have moisture coming in. So it's possible across all of our counties here in central Georgia. Again, the time frame is kind of what we're going with as a team as well. Tonight at 6 p.m. you will see a weather impact alert. You can see that online as well. We're going to go with the same time frame that the National Weather Service is outlining as well, Tuesday into Wednesday morning. Our messaging here, snow is possible. The amount is still just uncertain. So plan for some type of winter weather, but amounts are still uncertain. And as you saw with the forecast that we had the other week, winter weather is something that is constantly changing. So the forecast is what I'm kind of calling very fluid, something that changes a lot and something that you really need to stay up to date with because we get new information. We're giving it to you as quickly as we can, and new information comes at the very, very last second with winter weather events because we just need all of the information that we possibly can get about our atmosphere, about the temperatures, about the moisture that's coming in to really give you a good picture of what we're expecting to see on Tuesday. So hopefully that kind of explains like a little bit with some of those higher resolution models, kind of the expectation here. And I will also go into what the National Weather Service is saying here as well, just to make sure I haven't really missed any major points of guidance that they've been giving us. But generally, I think our big story is kind of just prepare for the chance to see some winter weather. And it does look like we're going to see some snow specifically, but we're watching for a couple areas that might deal with some wintry mix. And then the amounts will come into better focus as close to the actual day as we can possibly get. And I know also when I did this stream the other day, I did see some questions about specific locations. So this is kind of a unique event, right? In the sense that we don't typically get winter weather in South Georgia, and it actually looks like most places in central Georgia are going to be seeing something. I mean, that's a pretty wide spread there. We're not quite on the edge like we were with the last winter weather event where it looked like North Georgia kind of had that spread where they were likely going to see a lot of stuff. Here in central Georgia, the guidance that the models are showing us right now certainly looks like this is kind of a whole forecast area event. Again, specific amounts where snowfall or wintry precip could be heavier, we don't have the exact answer on right now, but I certainly think that most everybody in central Georgia should be prepared for the chance to see some winter weather. And of course, also as we start kind of getting an idea on amounts, it's going to be important to pay attention to road conditions with really, really cold temperatures, and with temperatures not warming up a lot in the afternoons. Whatever does fall certainly could be a situation for road conditions. So that will also come into a little bit better focus as we get just down to the very last few days here that we are heading into right before this event actually comes to us in central Georgia. So let me see about any additional info to share with you guys. Again, that's kind of the big story right now, and I will take you through the long-range models just one more time to show you the general agreement that gives us some sort of confidence that we will likely see something. This is the European model. Does show some widespread snowfall throughout Tuesday into early Wednesday morning, and then clear by Wednesday. That's the other thing. This is really clear after we head into Wednesday. We're not talking about a prolonged event past that. And this is the GFS model, just one more time. Still having some of that pink in there, but definitely winter precip no matter what. into the overnight hours, once again moving out by Wednesday, and not talking about any more potential winter precip past Wednesday. And finally, the NAM model. This one shows same story. Just really, this is kind of the consistency that we are seeing as a team, which is kind of giving us the go-ahead to say that there is definitely better certainty that we're going to see some winter weather here. So I think that's generally the big story here. We're certainly expecting to see something, so just go into Tuesday preparing that we likely could see some snow across central Georgia. The amounts, so the specific inches that we're going to see in specific locations and specific areas, that question is still up to play. That is going to be the very, very final detail that we eventually learn with this entire forecast. But I would say that everybody should expect something heading into Tuesday. So certainly just putting it on your radar, paying attention, and then of course with winter weather, staying up to date with changes. This is the guidance that we have right now from the National Weather Service. Obviously now we're about Saturday or Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 3 days from the actual event happening. And even though it doesn't seem like it, a lot can still change in 3 days. So this is the guidance that we're going with right now and what we've been given from the National Weather Service. The Winter Storm Watch kind of gives us a confidence that, hey, all of the ingredients are there, so we're going to prepare. But in terms of locations that are going to see the most amounts, accumulation amounts, that we are still fine-tuning. So we're going to say amounts uncertain for right now. But again, you saw how much changed from what we knew Saturday morning to what we knew Saturday night. The closer that we can get, and I know it's frustrating, to these events, the more and more details we have and the better our forecast can come into focus. So that's the guidance that we have right now. In terms of our weekend shows, we will be on 13 WMAZ Plus, streaming the 6 o'clock news. David Guerrero will be with you tonight, and then we'll be back for 13 WMAZ News at 11, and we are going to do our weather impact alert for those shows as well. So you'll likely see some more information about your weather impact alert coming your way here throughout the afternoon. And as always, just stay up to date with us with 13 WMAZ Plus, with our app, and on the website as well. And all new information that we have, we will let you know as soon as we have it. So thank you so much for joining me today, and I will be back with you tomorrow morning. David Guerrero will be back with you tonight. I hope you have a very safe and restful Sunday. Thank you so much.